Hello, good people of YouTube. Real Life Sea Lord here. And well, a while ago, I think about 2 or 3 months ago, I finally made a video on my dream car, this 2010 Camaro 2SS that I purchased a couple of years ago. Now, since then, quite a few of you guys have asked some questions about what's been done to the car, what I'm planning on doing with the car, and overall, like, where am I at with this thing as far as my idea or project for it. And I can say, given recent events, it's been expensive. So today we're going to go over what I've done to the car. We're going to talk about the condition that I received the car in when I purchased it 3 years ago almost. So it'll be 3 years this December since I've gotten this. So as far as today's video goes, we're going to go over what I've done to it, what needs to be done to it, my future plans for it. And yes, the title is correct. It's become a bit of a money pit for me as of recently. So let's go ahead and get on into it. So the engine, this is an LS3 V8, the legendary LS family series of motors. It's a great engine, very reliable. The lifetime on these motors is around 300,000 miles. And then they're not really that expensive to get rebuilt, and most mechanics will happily take one of these over most modern engines because they're very simple to work on. But as far as the engine goes, when we got it, it was running really rough, and I knew that when I purchased it. But a common symptom of that is just the spark plugs, wires and such do need to be replaced, and the coils too. So we replaced all those. That's 8 of them, and that wasn't that cheap. That was about $500-ish and a lot of blood, because the driver's side of this engine is super easy to change all that. That's all out in the open. But actually, the passenger side was a bit of a different story. There's little to no room to work on it on that side, so that was character building right there. So that was one of the first things we had to have done on, well, that I did. I work on most of my cars when it comes to general maintenance side of things. There are some things that I don't do, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But as far as like the engine, the most important thing in this car, that's it. It runs great, it runs fine. I did change the oil when we got back. The lot did say that all the fluids were changed when they got it. The engine and the oil was changed. It wasn't changed that well though, because when I did drain it, the first about 30 seconds of oil coming out, that was really dirty and bad. And if they had just changed it when they got it, and this was sitting on their lot for 6 months, it should have been relatively clean, unless they were just using it as a commuter or a lender or something. But after that, it was really clean, and then I put Mobil 1 in it. And it did have a Mobil 1 filter, so that was pretty good. I think they probably just took it to a quick lube shop or something like that. They didn't let the oil drain fully. But other than that, engine's been great, runs amazingly well. Yeah, no, you think with the taxes the Mexican people pay, these roads would be better. So I won't spend too much time talking about the tires and the wheels, because we did talk about that in the first video. I had to get 2 new front tires on this car. This one was from 2008, which is very weird because this car was built in 2009, but okay. I had to get a whole new set of wheels, rotors, pads, all that. That wasn't cheap either. That ran me, I think, all in all, shoot, a little over $2,000 with the new wheels and the rotors and pads, and we changed all that ourselves, of course, except for the wheels and the tires. That of course went to a tire shop for that, but yeah, all in all, a little over $2,000 there. I do apologize the car is dirty. It's been raining like crazy. We went through like 2 weeks of no rain, and now it's like, I don't know if God's trying to flood the earth again or whatever, but it's been pretty bad here recently. So the spoiler here on the front, the diffuser, whatever you want to call it, I've heard it get called 6 different things when I was getting this fixed. This did get crunched, and we had to have it fixed. The body shops around here, and no one really wanted to mess with it, so I had to take it to the dealer body shop that I bought my daily driver from. Originally it was only going to be like 300 bucks to fix, because I just bought a replacement one, even though it was supposedly supposed to fit and be an exact reproduction of this style of splitter in the front, which this is a ground effects kit that was sold with the 2SS package back in 2008. 2010, it didn't fit because, yeah, and GM doesn't make these anymore. So the body shop painted it, they tried to put it on, they couldn't put it on. So had to go with repairing the old one, which was a little bit more, about $600-800. But I mean, hey, it looks brand new. You can't really tell unless I just told you. But normally you wouldn't be able to tell whatsoever. So that was another $800 there. And keep in mind, for the past, everything I've told you so far, this is over the past 2 years. So it sounds like a lot of money, but it's been spread out over 2 years. And that's what I wanted to get in this car that I was looking to buy 2 years ago. Something that didn't need a whole lot of work, maybe just needed a couple of general upkeep things, something that needed to be replaced that I could work on myself. But then we get to the current development. Like I mentioned last time, this generation of Camaro does have problems with the air conditioning. And the thing I was mentioning in that last video was the blend door. That's the thing that controls how much hot and how much cold air goes into your cab based upon where you have the dial set in your cab. That tends to go bad because people leave it on full power, which you would think, just all the cold air you want. But the way that it works on this generation is that there's a little plastic door with an electric motor. The electric motor keeps torquing on that door even though you have it on max and it can't go any further. That motor keeps torquing on it and that eventually breaks. What I was glad to see when I got into this car at the dealership, the used car dealership that I bought it from, is that the thermostat was at about 80% full power, which is where you should leave it if you don't want the door to break, because that shuts off the electric motor. So I was very glad when I saw that, and that was one big thing that pushed me to buy this car. But then the air conditioning did start to have problems, and some pretty big problems. I was going through a full can of Freon about every 2 weeks, and that's Freon ain't cheap when you gotta keep buying a can every time you want to drive the car, because this is like my weekend holiday car. I'll drive it like every other weekend or something like that, so it doesn't get driven too often. So I was thinking, well, let me just keep some Freon and I'll just squirt it in there, and then we will eventually get it fixed. Well, when the Freon bills started to add up, I was like, well, what the heck, let me just go ahead and see what this is. It might just be a hose that's rotted out. It is a 14-year-old car, so that's to be expected. So I took it to the dealership that I typically go to, and this is a place that my family's bought in, shoot, what, 4 cars from there? Yeah, like 4 or 5 cars from there. It's a dealership that I'm comfortable is not going to try and rip me off or anything like that. And the reason I did that is because this is a car that I am rationalizing my money expenditures on as an investment, because Chevy, the 6th gen is as of right now, as far as you know, the last of the Camaro. And they did say the Camaro name's going to live on, but it's probably going to be some horrendous electric hatchback or electric crossover SUV, like with the Mustang, what is it, the Mach-E, whatever. Yeah, so this is when this Camaro came back. This is one that's in Transformers. Let me pick it up now, nurse it along, and eventually get to restoring it, repainting it, getting the bodywork fixed and all that jazz. That's my rationale, and that's what I tell people. And it's a cool car. So I took it to the dealership because this generation does have AC problems, and I figured if I go to sell this down the road, it'd be nice to say, hey, look, the main issue is the air conditioning. It's been worked on by the dealership. They have a warranty and all that jazz. And plus, again, the local shops didn't really want to mess with it. So I took it there, and oh boy, fellas. So the blend door wasn't broken, which I was relieved because that's a $2,500 repair. Everything else was, except for the compressor. The condensator, the hot and cold lines, everything had to be replaced. And the labor on that's not cheap because it's very labor intensive, because as you can see, there's a lot of crap in the way. So, yeah, I did pay to get it fixed. It came with a warranty and it's done properly. That was my rationale, if you will. Now, another reason why it was so expensive is because of a feature that was added to this car by the previous owner. And that's what I was going to show you guys in the last video, but that feature actually stopped working. So if we go around to the trunk. So this right here, that's an air compressor for a train horn. The previous owner had that installed. You can see the hose right here. This has actually been cut by the dealer. So they had that hose running up to the front of the car, and they'd actually bolted that onto the condenser in the front somehow. So probably because the way that was bolted on, maybe they had it like through the fins in the condenser or whatever, it eventually wore down and the condenser started to leak. So the shop had to, of course, well, remove that, and then they could fix the condenser from there. And I'm working on trying to figure out how they got that secured there. I think I'm gonna have to like take the bumper off or something to get to it, and then I'm gonna be taking that out as well. So yeah, that doesn't work. Well, it didn't work before then. I got it to work for a little bit, but then it stopped working. So it's just useless dead weight that I'm trying to get out of the car now. So now the air conditioner is working, but I'm running into another issue that's common amongst these 5th gens. There's this whining noise that's either the pulley, the belt, or the compressor going out now that the air conditioning system is working fully. It sounds like there's almost a supercharger under the hood, which there's not. And I've read everyone forums that's everything to just a design flaw with this generation of Camaro, that it's the pulley or the belt going bad, which the belt doesn't look like it's going bad to me, at least when I've been able to tell. But something that I have done recently that I think most of you get a kick out of is I did get around to changing the differential fluid, which again, the lot that I bought this from said that all the fluids in the car were changed. I'm telling y'all, that's a flat out lie. Because I crawled underneath here earlier this week and I changed out the differential fluid. I had already changed out the transmission fluid, which that stuff was actually pretty good. It was a little dirty, but again, nothing too bad. But the differential fluid was, oh my Lord. Hold up, I gotta get there we go. Yep, it's draining.
Do you want to ride?
Please.
I thought this has ever been changed.
No, look how black it is. The transmission fluid was a lot cleaner than this.
The transmission was black too?
No, it was still purple. Yeah. By the way, to the GM engineer that put the exhaust pipe exactly 3/4 of a width of a crescent wrench length away from the drain plug, I hope you stub your toe. They gotta take the exhaust off to do this. There we go. So here we are in Mexico, and you might be able to hear it. Every now and then you'll hear the whining sound that I'm talking about coming from the dash. We have another video that captured it pretty good too. But yeah. It's a little annoying. It's nothing that's super unlivable. The car still handles really well. I know we were just on the highway last time, so we're on some more back roady roads here, and I think we're in Chihuahua, Mexico. Looks a lot similar to the southern United States, you know, but it does pretty good. I mean, it's not a Mustang, so it's not going to careen out of control and you know, hit a crowd of bystanders or anything like that. But the wheel, look at it right now. You see how it's shaking? It's still doing that. Can you see that?
I can see your hand vibrating.
Yeah, because I see it's shaking like that. Then I touch the wheel, then it kind of stops it for a second.
You can see it. You can
Yeah.
see it shaking.
I don't know what that is. Change the wheels, change the tires. The bearings are fine. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the steering rack or whatever you want to call it. No, it rides really smooth, especially for a car that's so low to the ground. I mean, you know, trucks are king around here, especially with how crappy the roads are here in Chihuahua, Mexico, like that. But it's pretty comfortable. It's more comfortable. I used to have a Sonic, and that car got great gas mileage, but oh my Lord, trying to go anywhere and it was misery because of how stiff the suspension was.
I mean, I can hear it. The whirring.
Yeah, the whirring. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, hold on, let me just slow down and speed it up. It's really noticeable when you're accelerating.
Are you gonna be able to hear it through your microphone?
Oh yeah, with how sensitive this mic is.
We hope.
Huh. I appear to have fixed it. It's weird how it comes and goes. Again, we're in Mexico. As far as the plans for the future of this car, we're going to get to the bottom of that noise. If it's just a design flaw, I can live with it. But if it is about, you know, the pulley's about to go out or the belt's about to snap, obviously we'll deal with that when we get to it. But you guys that have Camaros or may know more about me than cars, what is that noise? Is it something I need to worry about, or is it something I'm just gonna have to live with? Again, I can live with it. The engine's louder than it for now. All right, guys, so that's it for today. That's my future plans for the Camaro. Obviously, I do want to get it repainted, and there's some pings and dings in the bodywork, but again, 14-year-old car that has just a little under 90,000 miles, that's going to happen. But besides that, that's what I got planned for the car for the future. If you guys want to see more on the car, let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, guys, hope you have a wonderful Sunday, wonderful rest of your week. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Helps out a lot on the YouTube side of things. Well, that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys have a great week, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Test, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Man, look at that sexy race car over there.
Two of my cylinders have more displacement than your entire car.
Shut up, she got 176 horsepower,
I have
baby.
450.
Whoa!
I have 450.
Does yours have a sport mode? I don't think
It is sport mode!
Shut up, I got a race car!